Hey, this is Gia. Today I'm talking about my experience working at the food pantry. I often think about the saying, there but for the grace of God go I. We don't get to decide who our parents are going to be, the financial environment we are brought up in, the social, emotional, mental environment we're brought up in, our genetics, where we grow up, how we grow up. The food pantry was at my church. Back when I first started, I was actually singing with the choir, and we were going to practice back in the classroom section of the church. And I was going through opening door after door to see where the choir was practicing. And I opened this one door, and there were bags of food that we had been collecting during Advent on the floor. There was a grill, there was a bicycle, there were all kinds of things. And I spoke to the priest and offered to help put the food on shelves. Back then, the church was getting maybe 1 to 2 calls a month for food, and we always collected a list of food during Advent and Lent. So I just merely offered to unpack the bags and put the food on the shelves. That's how I became the coordinator of outreach ministries. The best unpaid position I've ever had. So we started small. The food we had gathered, we would put it in bags and have it ready for when people called. We started getting 1 to 2 calls a week, and the program just built from there. We developed a menu of things that we gave out for each week, and it would rotate. We tried to do 3 proteins for each distribution. The meat was frozen. We would have 2 frozen items, and we would have the rest non-perishable. We found shelf-stable milk. Our selections grew as we were able to get more funding. The food pantry grew over time. When inflation started to be really bad, prices started rising, and we did not receive our food from a food bank. So we purchased everything. We used a local grocery store to purchase our meat, and then we would freeze it so it would be frozen when it went out. We also gave out eggs. People liked getting their eggs. Well, as the program grew, we had to go from every week down to twice a month in order to be able to afford to do what we were doing. But we had a list of resources that we shared with our clients so that they knew where else to go in the area to supplement if they had additional needs beyond what we were providing. We also had a list of resources for other services that might be needed. For instance, we identified who had clothing closets, who provided assistance if there was a fire in the home, who provided financial assistance. Now, we also did provide financial assistance, not to pay your bills. It was an emergency assistance if you risk of being disconnected, to avoid disconnection of your electric, to avoid disconnection of gas, to provide an emergency supply of heating oil if your tank was empty or near empty, and also to avoid eviction. For food assistance, there was no criteria. We only asked to see an ID, how many were in your family, so we would give the right amount of food, and where you were from. We needed those statistics for when we applied for a grant. We also, for the financial assistance, the criteria was really specific. We couldn't just give you money to pay your bills, and we didn't give any money at all directly to the individual. We would make a pledge to the provider of the service, but first we would contact them and see how much was needed. We coordinated with other churches and other agencies and also social services. And we asked the individual to get pledges. We would provide them a list of places to go and to request pledges. For avoiding eviction, that was very challenging because some of the landlords no longer wanted to work with the person. And in that case, we did not do anything because that was not going to be to the advantage for the person. They would still be without a home, and they might need assistance with a deposit for a new home. So the landlord had to cooperate and take our pledge. We had some other ministries as well. We had holiday food boxes for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And we also had a Christmas angel program. We took angels from the local schools, but we also provided assistance to people who applied from directly to the church, from the community directly to the church. Wow. We also tried to refer and help people with applying for the heating and cooling assistance. We also connected with the school counselors and would provide various things that children at the schools need. So that's basically what we did. It has been amazing. One of the big criteria for us, we wanted to treat everyone with dignity. No judgment about coming, just a warm welcome. You know, we had a check-in procedure. Gradually, people started like telling us their stories. Trust developed. We started learning names of the people who came regularly. I am no longer the coordinator. I retired from that position, but I am a backup and I do contribute as well. So I'd like to encourage you to donate to food pantries. They always appreciate donations of either. You can do that doesn't cost anything is to send good vibrations, good vibes to a food pantry, or prayers if you're the praying kind, or volunteer. They often need volunteers. So please consider that if you are looking for something to do. I'm sure you would be much appreciated. So if you need to go to a food pantry or a church or organization for assistance with utility, gas, heating oil, or avoiding eviction, Please know that the helping agencies want to help, but there are guidelines. And by all means, if you need to use a food pantry to help you be able to pay your other bills, please do so. They want to help. If you have insecurity and a food pantry only offers to come a certain amount of time per month, they probably know other resources in the area. You can always ask them if they have a resource list or if they can refer you to an agency that has a resource list. Also, in the United States, each state has resource lists that are available through social services and through the 211 program. And most of the lists include the emergency financial assistance as well as food pantries. This is Gia from Satisfying Retirement Life at jollypondliving. Thank you so much for watching and being with me today. I know time is precious, and I appreciate you. Until next video, please take care of yourself. I wish you many blessings, and I will see you in the next video.